Welcome back, everybody. My question for you is, who wants to save some money? Who wants to save some money on their next kitchen or bathroom remodel or home remodel, laundry room, bar, whatever you're doing? This is a continued review on the Bellmont 1300 line, which I did a video quite a bit back to just like first introduce the cabinet line, and I will have the link below. Today, we are going to, per request by several viewers, we're going to do a continued Bellmont 1300 review to let you guys know, well, how have some of those projects turned out after the fact? How has it been just experiencing and using the Bellmont 1300 line? How has the durability been? And what are the updates? Okay, so really quick, before we jump into this video, my name is Kerstin with The Material Bar in the Tacoma, Washington area. We have our showroom actually south of that in Lakewood. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to our channel. We talk about kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling, just everything, all the tips and tricks and the things that you need to know on your next project, but also like tips and tricks on how to save money or how to do space planning correctly, how to work kind of through some of those challenges and standards. And we have a lot of cool topics coming your way, plus always inspiration. Okay, now without further ado, let's talk about Bellmont 1300. And I'll just give you guys a quick overview right here on all the different door styles. And one of the most popular door styles was actually the Apex door because it has a thin frame all around it. But back when the line first came out, it was only available, and I have all my samples here in the back, but it was only available in black, in a matte black. And sorry, if you see some of these scratches or something, that's only because our samples have quite some miles on them and they get thrown in cars and taken on job sites, but they actually do really, really well. So the Apex door with that thin frame and a matte black was just a win. I mean, it was so popular, still is super popular. And I had this in my last personal house. I actually had it on two different personal like real estate projects that I've done. I've lived in a kitchen with this door style for 1 year, and we also have it as our coffee bar in the showroom. And I have to say, living with it, using it daily, and even here using it daily in our showroom as the coffee bar, the cabinet line is holding up really well. And I'm telling you, I'm not easy on my things because I live in spaces. I'm just not like, oh, careful, careful. I'm just using things normal. And I was really impressed with the quality. I mean, the guides, how smooth everything is working since day one until, you know, when I sold that property. I mean, I was in it for like a solid year, and I was really, really happy with the finish and the quality of the product. Really cool. Bellmont did release two new doors or two new door finishes, and one of them is the Apex door style because it was so popular in a matte white. And I just got our samples. So here is the white. I'm trying to show that to you guys here really nice. But here it is in white, super nice. And the other new door that came out, it's actually a new door itself because it is called, I believe it's called Vision. And the reason why it is a new name of a door is because the grain direction is vertical. The other two doors that we had in the past, which were laminates, textured laminates, were called Horizon. And it was these two colors, still very, very pretty and super popular. And this one is Horizon Frax, and this one is Horizon Grau, but in reality, Horizon had a horizontal grain direction, okay? So something to keep in mind, that in 1300, one of the reasons why we're saving so much money on this cabinet line is because our choices are limited. This, I can only get in horizontal grain direction. I can't get it vertical, okay? Now the new door, Vision, comes in a vertical grain direction. And I know for myself, working on projects and our designers working on projects, there are certain applications where I prefer a horizontal grain direction, and that's a lot of times when it's like an island. It's very defined section. I want it to be running horizontal, or when it's maybe a vanity that is going from wall to wall, it's like really nicely encased. I think that then it looks really nice to have a horizontal grain direction. In a lot of cases when I'm working on a kitchen, I prefer a vertical grain direction. And that's why I'm super happy that this new door vision is coming in a vertical grain direction. And I love this new finish, this new color. And it kind of comes from that rift cut white oak look that we see in a lot of different magazines. And I'm telling you guys, the finish and the color is absolutely on point. And I'm super excited to be using this. We literally just got our samples. The white Apex door was already ordered for a project, and this one I'm sure is going to get ordered really, really soon. And super excited how that turned out. Now, I also want to update you guys on some ideas to be creative with this, okay? I always tell people, I tell new designers, when it comes to cabinetry, literally, the sky is the limit with your imagination. Don't try to stay in a box. Look at all the parts and pieces almost as Lego pieces, and you can mix and combine and get funky with it however you want to. The cool thing that Bellmont did when they introduced the Bellmont 1300 line. Now, by default, Bellmont 1300, everything is white melamine on the box interiors. We have a white powder-coated drawer called the Attira drawer. It's a metal drawer. We've got some images here for you guys, super nice and smooth. And the cool thing is that you can use the 1600 line and you can match the interior and the drawer. So if you're working on a kitchen, for example, and you know, this might be an investment property, because we've been using this line for a lot of investment properties, or people are like, hey, I'm only trying to live here for, you know, X amount of years, and then it might be a rental property, or it's just not my forever home, things like that. This is a great line. Now, what they did is you can use the 1300 line, for example, on your perimeter. So I could use, let's say, Holz on my perimeter, or maybe the white Apex door, right, with that cool thin frame. And you could pick a 1600 cabinet for your island with a more custom wood stain, a more custom paint color. So you can really mix and match and get super creative with this, all by saving money and not breaking the bank. Because at the end of the day, one thing to remember is when you're working on a kitchen project, when it comes to budget, typically we say in the industry that whatever the amount is of your kitchen remodel, about 30% are going to flow into your cabinetry, because it takes up a huge expense in your kitchen remodel. So maybe thinking about taking that expense and potentially lowering it by using the Bellmont 1300 line would be a great idea for your project. And if you still want to stay creative, maybe taking parts and pieces or like a built-in bar and maybe doing that section in a more custom color or something else that you can find in the 1600 line, and then just making the insides match. Another little thing that I want to touch on when we're working with Bellmont 1300 line is that the door styles all are very, very similar in cost. I think only these two guys, which are really horizontal, and the flat doors that are matte white, matte gray, and I think gloss gray, those doors are a little bit more affordable than the other ones, but I mean, we are talking a fraction of the cost, so I wouldn't worry about that. I would really focus on picking what you like, and on a project you might just be looking at like a couple $100 in difference between those two door styles, or you know, group A and group B. And then I wanted to give you guys a heads up. I just moved into a new property again. I love real estate investing, and it's me and my dog, and we're just moving into all kinds of places, and then we're revamping them and making them fun. And the tip that I just gave you about mixing and matching the 13 and the 1600 line, I did just that. I've used quite a bit of parts of the 1300 line to keep the cost down on my project. I'm only living here for a year. After that, it will be a rental. But then I used some really, really beautiful parts of the 1600 line, which in the kitchen is Rialto, a stinking gorgeous looking laminate, a walnut laminate. I should really go grab the sample. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Now, Rialto, such a gorgeous walnut laminate compared to real wood laminate. Look at this. This is so realistic. So what I ended up doing is using this with matte white flat parts of the 1300 line, and I'm super excited once this project is done to do a video, show you guys all those details. It's gonna be super cool. But here's something else I'm doing, and I haven't ever done it before, but I'm using the 1300 cabinets. I'm using a tall unit and a base unit, and I'm using the white matte flat panel, and I'm actually going to customize it with some cool stuff. I've seen a couple of pictures on Pinterest, and the 1300 line is definitely the line that you can kind of work on and maybe do some custom things. So I'm having a couple of different images in mind that I want to try out with my cabinet installer. So in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna go through that exercise, and I will definitely have pictures and videos for you guys once that project is done. It's gonna be like my little walk through Butler's Pantry, just super fun, different. You guys know I hate like being boring. I always want to showcase fun, creative ideas on how to use cabinetry and all the other finishes in your guys' interior spaces. One last thing that I want to add to, you know, in overall, just reviewing the 1300 line as a product in itself. Like I said before, durability, super surprised and happy on just living in it myself for a year. Definitely it's great. You really get like your money's worth, and I was very impressed with it. It actually holds up really well. It is a recycled PET film that is on these doors, you know, not the laminate, but the matte finishes, for example, and it's holding up really well. I had really big dogs living in this house with me. The price point in overall is just very aggressive. I mean, when it comes to cabinetry, you can go anywhere from a $10,000, $12,000 cabinet package for a space to the same space using a $80,000, $100,000 cabinet package. And there's people out there that are like, oh my God, you're crazy, but there are projects like that. So price point on the Bellmont 1300 line is just extremely aggressive. It's always something that we like to fall back on if we're working. You know, we've actually used it a lot more on commercial projects as well, when projects were just over budget on a commercial space, and just using the Bellmont, so just substituting with some 1300 line cabinets is always really, really helpful. And I did want to mention, overall, just with warranty claims and things like that, I touch base on this topic here and there. When it comes to cabinetry and ordering a cabinet package, let's say for a kitchen, and you've got a decent amount of cabinets in this order, you're always going to have a ding here or there, because you're really putting nicely finished boxes into more boxes, and then you're going to transport them. And especially finishes like paint are extremely vulnerable, and we don't have any painted products in here. We have laminate finishes, and I am super surprised by how low the amount is of warranty claims that we actually have to submit to the factory on the Bellmont 1300 line. They all come pre-assembled, and when they arrive on the project site, they actually have a plastic wrap over them so you can install them, your installer can install them. A lot of times when cabinets get installed, the doors and the drawer fronts get taken off. You can take them off, and then in the end put them back on, and then you take your protective film off. And it's really been a great experience from a dealer side, but also from a personal consumer side of using this product. And yeah, we really had just a fraction of damages with this. I mean, it was really cool to work with this cabinet line, and I'm looking forward to see all the new things that are going to come out in the future. And absolutely love the new color. Thank you, Bellmont, for introducing that new color. Thank you for introducing Apex White. We're super excited to be using this on projects. Now, if you guys have any other questions on the Bellmont 1300 line, please leave those comments below. We'll be happy to get back to you guys. And as promised, in a couple more weeks, I will be having another video to showcase the customization we kind of did there using the Bellmont 1300 white matte flat panel, okay? All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this review helped you. If the Bellmont 1300 line is something that you want to use on your own project, And like I said, leave questions and comments below. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.